All right. Good evening, guys. We're so glad that you came back to join us again this evening. We are honored to have the WKU Honors College here to kind of give us some information specifically about their honors college, but kind of honors colleges in general and what makes them special and awesome and something that you should consider as you're making your college admissions decisions and college campus life. So, we are so happy to have three representatives from WKU here with us this evening. And I am going to turn it over to them, let them introduce themselves. We're going to get started here in about 3 minutes. So, the way that you can ask questions is that we have the Google form that you are able to ask questions on. I'll put that in the chat or the comment section. You can also just directly ask comments. So please use whichever feature you feel the most comfortable with. Towards the end of the presentation, we'll be able to have an opportunity to ask those questions and get answers on the spot. If you think of a question later on, you can always use that Google form. It will allow us to get you answers to the questions that you may have after you have an opportunity to rewatch this or to think about the questions that might pop into your mind a little bit later. So, welcome to our this is our fifth session of the College Con event this year for 2020 on YouTube Live. So we're going to take just a couple more minutes to let everybody hop on, and we will come back live and get the presentation started in just a second. All right, welcome this evening. We are here to talk about honors colleges and that experience. So I am going to turn it over to our representatives here this evening. I'll let them introduce themselves. Questions can be asked either using the Google form, which is located in the comment section, or you can directly ask your question in the comments. We'll make sure that all questions that get asked this evening or submitted will be asked. If you have a question later on, we'll be happy to answer those as well. Just make sure you submit that Google form and select this session so we'll know what session you're referring to. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you guys. So thank you.
Hey there, everyone. Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday night. My name is Zach Ryle. I'm the Assistant Director for Enrollment and Brand Management with the McHugh Honors College. And my colleagues and I are thrilled to be able to talk to you today about honors colleges. The title is an Ivy League experience at a public university. We're excited to kind of talk about what honors colleges are. Specifically, we'll obviously talk a little bit about the McHugh Honors College because that's what we're kind of here to do and the experiences we have, but kind of honors colleges at a global scale. But before we get there, I want to introduce my other colleagues that are with me today. So I will let Laura go first, and Caroline, you can follow if that works.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Laura King. I graduated from the McHugh Honors College just this past May of 2020, and I now serve as the admissions counselor. So I am here for all of your questions, anything like that. I help coordinate some of our VIP visits, which we'll get a chance to talk about later. But I'm excited to be joining you guys here today. So thank you for having us.
Hi, y'all. My name is Caroline, and I'm a regional admissions counselor for WKU. So that means I live in the Louisville area, and I will get to visit schools like Manual in the fall. And I'm also here to answer any questions that y'all have about admission to Western Kentucky.
And I should also add, I didn't do a very good job of this. I'm also a WKU alum, and I'm also a McHugh Honors College alum as well. So we've kind of had lived experiences at WKU and in the Honors College too. So we're here to help you guys. So kind of the format that we're going to do today is kind of a top 10 questions that you could get about honors colleges or programs. And these aren't necessarily rank order, but we've kind of gone through a few that may have been on the information sheet. We're going to answer those, as well as a few others that we hear pretty consistently throughout our time on the road. So Laura and I will kind of go back and forth a little bit, giving you some personal experiences. Caroline, feel free to jump in when you want to as well. Hopefully be able to answer any questions. And if you guys have any, please feel free to use the methods that were mentioned earlier. We're happy to answer them. So Laura, I'll kind of let you lead off with question 10.
Yes, so our first question here is, what is an honors college? So we get that question plenty often. How does this differ than just going to a public university, just being in college in general, which would be, of course, a wonderful question. Really, honors colleges are meant to recreate the experiences and outcomes of a private liberal arts college. So they kind of function as this small private liberal arts institution, but within a larger, more robust institution. So that means you get all of those outcomes and advantages of a smaller college and all of the benefits of a larger university. So if we have any Hannah Montana fans, I like to say it's the best of both worlds. It's that really good mix. So now, while every honors college is going to be different, some of the advantages and opportunities that I'm kind of referring to here that you might be able to expect to see are smaller and more interactive hands-on courses, rigorous and specialized curriculum, exclusive housing, priority registration, and a dedicated professional team, as well as a strong community of like-minded and diverse scholars. So again, I know this won't necessarily apply to all honors colleges, but for example's sake, if you were to kind of pick the McHugh Honors College up from WKU's campus and move us off, we would rank among the top 25 private liberal arts colleges in the nation. So the quality of your education is going to align with those big Ivy League names, but you're also going to have all of those big school opportunities that you desire and kind of be receiving that best of both worlds that I was talking about, all at a much more affordable rate.
Which, of course, parents, is what you are going to definitely want to tune in on there. You're going to have that elite level institution of knowledge that's coming in at the rate of WKU. There is a small honors college fee that most honors colleges charge to do programmings and things like that, but we're talking $100, $200, somewhere in that realm a semester, as opposed to, on top of an in-state tuition, let's say, as opposed to potentially higher price tags elsewhere. So that's kind of what we're thinking there on question number 10. So we'll transition to question 9, which, how are honors colleges different from honors programs? And this is one we definitely get on the road a lot. And I want to preface by saying neither one is good nor bad. There's just differences. So in fact, when I came to WKU, Dr. Cobain is the founding director of the Honors College, but when I came, we were an honors program. And during my time at WKU, we transitioned from an honors program to the WKU Honors College, which later became the Mahurin Honors College. And so what was the difference really in between there? Most honors programs, you will have honors courses at the university that you choose to go to, but you're not going to have, there may be one person, maybe 2 dedicated staff for that honors program. You're not going to see a lot of community potentially. You're not going to see a lot of, you're not going to see a lot of, sorry, I'm kind of losing my thought here for a second. You're not going to see a lot of, the community activities that you would see in an honors college. Honors colleges typically have a little bit more robust of a budget. You're going to be able to do a little bit more as far as the community activities, the community building opportunities, whether that's inside the residence hall or just through the honors college in itself, through organizations. They typically, honors colleges have their own dedicated faculty. They have their own opportunities for potentially designing your own major, like the Mahurin Honors College has, different opportunities for coursework, different opportunities in general, like honors colloquia. I can say the Mahurin Honors College right now, we have 3 different colloquia going on right now. One's pandemonium, which is looking at the pandemic through several different lenses, public health, economy, economics, things along those lines. We've got one that's based in yoga. We have another that's on sports gambling, which they're leading up to the Kentucky Derby here in a couple of weeks. Obviously, Louisville, that's huge. For us, it's huge down here too. So those are just a few differences between, and that's an important thing. The most important thing I'd say, no matter where you go, be sure you go and visit, because honors programs and honors colleges, there's some slight differences, and you'll feel some of that when you come visit. And you may be a perfect fit for an honors program, you may be a perfect fit for an honors college. Everybody has their own feel. So it's really important to kind of go and get a feel of where you fit best and where can help you and what you're looking to do.
Wonderful. So what type of students are going to be joining an honors college? So one of the huge advantages of an honors college is that it brings together students from all sorts of different academic backgrounds, experiences, interests, but all who kind of share this similar passion and drive for excellence. Honor students are typically going to be those motivated, driven students who enjoy challenging themselves in and out of the classroom. But I think kind of one of the common misconceptions that we get in the honors college is that it is just for students, and you'll have to excuse my kind of overused stereotype here, but those students who have, pocket protectors and like tape on the glasses. And of course, we love our what you might call nerdier scholars, but we also welcome in a huge variety of high achieving students. So honor students are the ones who are out there getting involved in any way that they can. So working really hard to kind of enrich their experience. So in high school, that could look like getting involved in sports, extracurricular activities, service, band, theater, so on. In college, a lot of our honor scholars are heavily involved on campus. So they take that high school experience and they want to reflect that and kind of keep doing that in college. So they're involved in Greek life, campus ministries, student organizations, student government, if that interests you. Here at the Mahurin Honors College, in our 15-year history, 14 of those years, the student body president was a Mahurin Honors College scholar. So students really love to kind of get involved, push themselves. So really, honors colleges are just for those students who are ready and looking for that next step and that they want to excel and do more.
So kind of from a practical sense, like I can remember when students, if you're listening, you may be thinking, is this right for me? Like, is this the right fit? I, personally was a 3-year letterman in football, also played baseball, was a governor's scholar. So a lot of things that, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be a fit for the honors college. Like, yes, I'm a very good student, but at the same time, do I really want to go that route? And within the first week, I got around other people who I was like, oh, okay, there's another guy who plays sports. Oh, that's someone who's got a similar major. You start to feel, okay, this isn't just like, the smart people, which we certainly have, obviously the smart people in the building too. You have to be, to a certain extent, you have to be gifted or high ability to really push yourself to get to that next level. But it's people who, like Laura said, are wanting to kind of ascend toward excellence, take that next level step. So we'll go to number 7. What are the advantages and disadvantages of joining an honors college? I'm actually going to take this question and rephrase it just a little bit and change the perspective of, what are you looking to get out of the honors college? Because college in general, but especially in honors college, you're going to get out of it what you put in. So I could sit here and say, yes, for most honors colleges, you may get priority housing, you may get priority registration, those kind of things. And those things are nice, but those should be vehicles to help you get to your end goal. They should not be the reason that you join an honors college. So what I'm meaning by that vehicle to get to your end goal is, what do you want to do? What is your goal for your life? What are you hoping to do? Are you wanting to be a doctor? Awesome. Do you want to go to med school here in the state? Are you looking to go to an Ivy League school? We can help you get there. Honors colleges are built for that. Our executive director, Dr. Craig T. Cobain, if he was here, he would say, most universities, their job is to train you in the field of study that you're going to be in so that you can be successful. We know that the WKU, College of Biology or College of Sciences and Engineering, they're going to train you if you want to be a pre-med doctor really well. Our goal as an honors college is to get part of that grad school or maybe all that grad school paid for, or to have you go to one of those top 25 medical schools that you're pursuing. Same thing with engineering or vet sciences, or if you're in broadcasting, what is that next step? What is going to make you ascend toward excellence? To where if you're looking at the same resume with almost everything, but you have an honors college scholar who's had different opportunities and different experiences than someone who maybe didn't choose that route, those are the things that are going to stand out on a resume. Now, it's not just about the resume. It's also about those experiences that pop out, that study abroad. Maybe you chose to do research. Maybe you did an internship. Maybe you worked with our Office of Scholar Development to be able to help you go for a Goldwater or Fulbright or Gilman. Those are all things that are possible with inside the honors college. It's just one of those. So like I said, advantages and disadvantages. Hopefully you've seen some of the advantages. Certainly, disadvantages. There's some rumors that we're going to dispel here in just a minute, so I don't want to jump ahead on the slides. But change the focus just a little bit of what are you looking to get out of your college experience and what are you looking to get out of the honors college? Because as an honors alum, I can tell you that you get out of it truly what you want to put into it. I wasn't planning on doing a CET, but I was actually doing work, which is CET, is a capstone experience or thesis. It's an end project here at WKU that we do to kind of show what you've learned over your time as an undergraduate. I wasn't planning on doing one. I was going to graduate from the honors program back then, but I actually was doing work in a side field and talked to the CET advisor, and we ended up making it work. Those type of opportunities that I still talk about to this day in different job interviews when I have those things are things that stand out even 10 to 15 years down the road.
Absolutely. So when it comes to an honors college, what do honors courses look like? How is this going to be different than me just going to university and attending classes there? And curriculum is going to look different at each college. So for some honors colleges, it may be that there's an additional amount of honors hours that you need to complete, or you have a certain number, something like that. Or it could be like here at the Mahurin Honors College, we have kind of what we refer to as an integrated curriculum. So that means that you will take honors versions of courses that you already need to complete for your degree. So it's not this additional amount, on top of the amount of hours you need to graduate. So kind of like we were talking about earlier, honors courses are going to typically be smaller, which really allows for the faculty to lead you in a more discussion-based manner. A lot of the times it's going to be more hands-on, involve more participation, so it's less total lecture, all that good stuff. And there's going to be more opportunities for collaboration. You're also going to find that in in an honors college, you have the opportunity to take exclusive honors courses. So classes that are available to just honors students. Again, that could look like a lot of different things between different colleges, but just like Zach was talking about, here at the Mehuron Honors College, we have some colloquium courses or special topics courses that are really neat and interesting. So they kind of take a topic, they look at it in a really different way, different lenses, things like that. So one of my personal favorite ones that's been taking place for several semesters, it's going to happen again in the fall, is the Mammoth Cave course. So for this course, they take any major, so you don't have to be geology, you don't have to be in the sciences or history or anything like that. Anyone can join this course as long as you're in the honors college. And they take you on trips to Mammoth Cave. Throughout the semester, you're learning about the history and the science of it all. But the thing about it is these aren't like park ranger led trips or anything like that. These are personal trips where it's just you and the class and the professor. And you get to go to parts of the cave that general tours never get to touch. They allowed me to come along on one of the trips. It was so much fun, absolutely fascinating. So different things like that that are unique, that are allowing you to get outside of the classroom, because we know that a lot of learning takes place, again, outside of, the four walls around you. Honors courses also try to have some sort of added benefit for you. So something extra that's going to make you feel like you're walking away from that class having learned something or having gained something. So for example, one of the honors courses that I took while I was here at WKU, the general course, they wrote a research proposal, but I was actually able to conduct the research that I was interested in. So I got to actually take my project, run with it. The Honors College helped fund that for me. So actually getting to go hands-on and get more added value out of that class rather than just writing a proposal. So we'll talk about this in just a second, but honors courses are never going to be harder just for the sake of being harder. We're really trying to design them so that you're getting that added benefit. Another thing that you'll probably find at most honors colleges is the opportunity to make a non-honors course honors. So here at the Mehuron Honors College, we refer to that as augmentation. So that basically means, hey, I have this course. I think I'd really like to dive into it a little bit more and gain some credit for that while I'm at it. So you put together some sort of additional piece to the course, maybe a hands-on project or a presentation to your class. So we really want to make sure that you have the opportunity to take charge of your own academic journey. We're here to help you find opportunities to go above and beyond, but we also want to provide you the opportunity to have your own creative freedom with that academic journey. So honors courses are often going to be pretty flexible too.
And I'll kind of add to that. I did a personal augmentation in broadcasting courses because there weren't a ton of honors courses, but I wanted to, there was an editing course that I thought would lend to itself really well to an honors augmentation. And so instead of doing an exam in one of the classes, I actually went out and filmed a project, edited it. And that was what I was graded on, is instead of taking the test. So it's not, I also want to make it, and that happens a lot at most honors colleges where you can be able to adjust things. Obviously, each honors college has their own rules. So I don't want to lay out a blanket statement and then you go run to another honors college and say that. But generally, you're able to tweak things to be able to make something more engaging and more towards personal application or professional growth. So that kind of leads to question number 5, which, if I had to guess, this was probably the number one question we get on the road, is, are honors college or honors programs courses harder? Yes. No, I'm just kidding. They're not. But let's think about that. If I would go, on a road recruiting, talk about all these benefits, and at the end of the day say, oh, and by the way, it's going to cause you a lot more stress. You're going to have to do a lot more work. And really, you can kiss any free time that you're going to have goodbye. What scholar in their right mind would want to join that? There may be a few who are looking for that extra push, but most aren't going to do that. And we don't believe in that. I say we as a collective whole in the honors colleges, that's not the goal. What we call, I guess, punitive pedagogy, where you have to do more work to get, the honors credit. That's not how we roll. Hopefully you've kind of seen through what Laura was talking about just a minute ago, that the classes are much more engaging. That, yes, an honors course, it's going to have an honors line to it, or, there may be some difficult conversations that are had, and it makes you think and kind of start growing outside of what you've known, which is a good thing. It lets you kind of open your mind up, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be more difficult. In fact, when I was honestly, and I'm not just saying this because I'm in this role, I say this all the time. Before I had this role, the honors college courses I actually enjoyed more. Being able to have that interaction with fellow peers who thought the same way, about their future growth, their professional growth, who were interested in exploring different areas, whether it was one of the cloaks. My cloak was sports and media, which was like a softball for me. I love sports, love media. It worked beautifully to me. But whether it was that, whether it was an honors English class that I took, I never found the work to be harder. In fact, I found it a little bit easier in some ways, just because I felt more invested in the course. It wasn't something I was just trying to check off. I actually was gaining knowledge. I was actually learning something that I felt that I could apply. And I think that is, if I did a straw poll of our alumni, 70 to 80% would feel the exact same way. I'm not going to sit here and say that you may not have an honors course that's difficult. You may, but typically honor scholars are looking for that, that challenge of that little bit of growth. But I'd say by and large, no, they are not harder. They're more engaging. They're more discussion focused. So that's kind of the difference in a sense. And I know that most of you are probably not going to believe me until you get into a class. But when you get into that class, I've had scholars come by and say, yep, you're right. And I don't necessarily need the you're right part, but they realize, okay, it really is about that community, about that growth.
Absolutely. So question number 4, why do universities create honors colleges or programs? So what purpose do they serve? So this one, I'm going to go ahead and tee it off to Zach to start off with.
Yeah. So universities as a whole create honors colleges and programs for a few different reasons. First, and I think foremost, is it gives really a community for your high ability and your gifted students. So, you guys, if you're listening in on this, you tuned into this session, more than likely you are on the gifted or high ability track, or you see this as a very valuable option for your future. That's the type of students that we're trying to reach out to as a collective whole in the honors colleges. There are scholars like you across the state and across the nation who are looking for that next level, who are constantly pushing that academic ceiling, trying to get it higher and higher. That's why honors colleges and honors programs have been formed. And in fact, it was honors programs for the most part, and then colleges were formed because we saw even more need for staff, for funding, for programming, for community. Because sometimes, and some of you may have had this experience. I think we're talking the 10th and 11th graders here, if I'm remembering correctly. So some of you may be heading off to GSP. But sometimes, you get, for some people when they go to GSP, it's the first time that they get to experience others who are thinking like them, and they have like-minded peers in that sense. Honors colleges were made a lot in the same way, where you're going to have those like-minded peers. That doesn't mean you're going to believe everything the same. If we look at, I had a roommate that was on the far left side and I was more moderate, and then the next door neighbor was far right. Or you may have people with different religious beliefs, or you may have people with different strategies in physics or whatever it may be. You're going to have a lot of different mindsets. And that's part of what makes an honors college so special, is that you're hearing all these different things, because once you get out into the real world, you kind of get into your own set way, and you may not hear a lot of different things. This honors college and honors program allows you to kind of get a grasp of everything. And that's part of the reason why universities founded those. They also found that it was a really good place to be able to offer a lot of different opportunities. So we talked a little bit about study abroad and research, and certainly there's obviously different offices in the university realm that handle that, but they realized that they were these same people that were keep coming to them looking for those next levels. And so if you start couching some of these things in honors college, like our Office of Scholar Development, now the Office of Scholar Development is open to everybody at WKU, but they're here in our office because 60 to 70% of the students who use them are honors college scholars, because they're looking for that next level. So it's just it's a unique little niche inside. One way, again, that an honors college is different from an honors program, not going back to that question, is typically they have their own college. We have our College of science and engineering. We have our College of Arts and Letters, our College of Education and Behavioral Sciences. We have the Honors College. So, we do have our own building here, but at the same time, there's a lot of different opportunities that kind of are floating throughout this building that are appealing to Honors College scholars. And universities know that is something that they want to draw in. They want to be a source for all scholars, including those on the higher end. So, Laura, is there anything you wanted to add to that one?
No, absolutely. I totally agree with everything Zach had to say. And I really just think that universities were looking for a way to serve a different type of population. So each, college, like the Ogden College of, Science and Engineering, serves those engineering and science students. But they were looking for this population where we have these high achieving students. They're scattered all around. Let's find a way to bring them together. And that's really what honors colleges serve.
So I'll do number 3, and we'll see. Maybe Laura will take a little bit more of that one. But why does it matter that a student graduates with honors? Laura, do you want to take that one?
Yes. So in kind of talking about this, Zach mentioned a little bit earlier in terms of jobs versus excelling. So a lot of the times we talk about the honors college as not your avenue to necessarily get a job. Your department is going to set you up for success in that area. No matter what university you go to, they're going to help you excel. But the honors college really serves the purpose of helping you do even more. We have a lot of students who we talk to who they say, all right, well, what's your big dream? We ask them, what's your big dream? And they say, my big dream is to be a doctor. Well, that's great. You're going to achieve that, here in a few years, less than 10 years, you've got that under your belt. What's after that? What's the bigger dream? What's the big goal here? So that's really what honors colleges do, is really set you up for that future success, so that you're constantly ascending toward excellence. So when you graduate with honors, you're doing more than just necessarily getting a job. You're going to those really great jobs, you're working in the places that you have your big dreams about. So that's, I really think, something that sets honors colleges apart than just attending a normal university. And kind of what it means to graduate with honors is that you're going to excel beyond kind of that average.
And I'll kind of add to that a little bit. I think that, when you see graduates with honors on a resume, that certainly means something in the comparison stack. But again, it's those other things that add in. I think of one student, Trip Carpenter. He graduated, I think, in 2014-15. Don't hold me to that. He's from Owensboro, but he was his final thesis, his capstone experience and thesis was on Jonesville, which was a primarily African-American community here in Bowling Green, who was in the early 50s displaced for university growth. He did a project on that. And he's come back several times and said that he has had multiple job interviews that have asked him specifically about that project, and that they pulled him out of a stack because of that project. He worked in the New York City mayor's office, I believe, and is now pursuing his law degree. And so those are the type of things that an honors college provides, where you may not necessarily have, would Tripp have gone down that path? Maybe not. I personally know Tripp. I think if I were to talk for him, he said probably he would go pre-law, but he probably wouldn't have done that thesis. He wouldn't have known necessarily about it because he kind of learned a little bit about it in his Honors 251 course, which is Citizen and Self, which is a whole different thing that gets more into the WKU side than we're going to go here today. But those are the opportunities that you kind of have. So it's not just looking, like Laura said, at your next 4 years, your next 8 years. It's looking longer term at what you're wanting to do.
All right, so what are the keys to success in an honors college? So I know we've talked about what you can get out of it, but how do you get those things out of it? How do we get those outcomes from being a member of the honors college or of a honors college? So the resources for your success are here, they're available, but you just have to take advantage of them. So that's the biggest thing that I tell plenty of students is really that it is all about being engaged in your college, taking advantage of the resources available. I know that plenty of admissions counselors, guidance counselors, whatever they may be, have probably communicated that same idea, but I'm just driving it home because it is truly one of the absolute keys to success. So just like we kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, honors colleges typically have that entire professional team available to serve you. So what does it mean to be engaged? Well, you could be meeting with those staff members. So meet with your advisors, connect with them, get to know your college's director if possible. Here at the Mahuron Honors College, our director, Dr. Cobain, has started this new tradition this year. It's picked up really, really quickly. Kind of in terms of the COVID pandemic, we weren't able to meet in person with students. So he found a way to kind of work around that. And he does morning walks with students. So he'll take them on like an hour-and-a-half long walk. They'll just chat about their dreams, their goals. He talks to them about things. He connects them with opportunities, things like that. We even had a student who, because, thanks to his walk with Dr. Cobain, he learned about Stanford's summer research program in cardiovascular medicine. And Dr. Cobain connected him with a Mahuron Honors College alum who actually participated in that program. And that student was able to be invited to serve in that program this upcoming summer. So I know that that is kind of a specific example to the Mahuron Honors College, but you can see that by connecting with those people who are here to serve you, how it can benefit you even within your freshman year and throughout your collegiate experience and beyond.
And Laura, I'll add a little bit to that. One of the things that I think is a key to success, specifically among the gifted and high ability population, and previous to this, I worked at the Gatton Academy as an assistant director for admissions and worked in the Center for Gifted Studies before that. The ability to ask for help and receive said help. That is really, really important, because the opportunities like Laura's are there, but you have to be willing to ask for help. And when you hear the help, be willing to receive it. That can be a really difficult thing. Growing up, I was a high ability student. You're taught that you at times hear that you're really good at everything. You may hear that. And that's good. That's good that you're well-rounded. But as you get to college, you're starting to focus on a certain area. So let's say, I'm going to pick on pre-med, but let's say you're pre-med and you're starting to get into that biology funnel. Well, you may be missing some opportunities off on the left and right because you're very focused in the lab. That's not a problem. That's not a bad thing. But when you can go and ask an advisor, say, okay, here's what I'm doing. What else do I need to be aware of? They know of other things that are going to be able to potentially help you further your ascent toward excellence. So it's not, asking help is not a bad thing. I always make the joke of, I'm decent at my job in enrollment and admissions. But when I have taxes, I'm going to take it to a tax accountant. That is not my gift. I don't know that. I need them to help me with that. It's very similar in that sense. So you may be great in biology. Maybe you're a great musician, but you may not know about different opportunities that our advisors are going to know, or that the Office of Scholar Development is going to know. Maybe there's a study abroad program in Italy for music. I believe I'm thinking of Sarah Fox, who's traveled around the world doing music, and was connected a lot through the Office of Scholar Development. So that is my biggest key to success. Obviously, getting involved in the community, those kind of things. But if you're willing to ask for help and receive it, that's going to help you in your own personal ascent to figuring out what your next step is going to be. And finally, the last question: why should every gifted and high achieving student visit several honors colleges and programs during your college and university search? This is key. Just like I said earlier, you can definitely peruse websites. When you get opportunities, hopefully in the coming, this fall, we'll be able to have in-person things, and Laura or myself or both can be up there talking to you guys. You guys and gals. Take advantage of those opportunities, but go and visit. It's really important. We encourage you, I'm going to make the plug right now. The Mahuron Honors College has VIP visits that are set up one-on-one, where you're going to get to interact with two of our ambassadors from the college, and it's personalized. So if you say you want to do biology and you want to do a tour of the biology department, we can make that happen. We're going to work with you to make sure you get to see what you want to see. I will say, if you go to our VIP visit page right now, there's not going to be any availability because finals week is next week. And then once we get that kind of done, we'll be able to look at our summer schedule. But we are planning on having visits over the summer. I just wanted to throw that out there. But go and visit multiple. Don't just visit us. UK has Lewis Honors College. There are honors colleges and programs throughout the state, throughout the region, throughout the nation. If there's a college that really is interesting to you, go and see if they have an honors program or college. See if they're, see that what Laura and I are saying is true. You could say, well, this is just what the McCurran Honors College is saying. That could be different. Go look. We encourage you to do that. Certainly, we want the McCurran Honors College WKU to be on your list, because we do think we can offer an amazing experience. And I think Laura and I can both personally attest to that from being alums. But go look. That's the key thing, is go look, experience it, see what they're offering, see how it can help you in your ascent. Laura, is there anything you want to add to that?
No, absolutely. I completely agree. I think that campus visits are a critical part of the college decision-making process. There's truly nothing like stepping on campus, physically being here to check it out. So whether that is just a general university or an honors college, we highly, highly encourage you to partake in whatever visits they have available. And just like Zach was saying, the McCurran Honors College offers VIP visits. And I'm sure that other honors colleges probably have their own visits as well. So that's just a really good way for you to see what your university is going to look like, especially through an honors lens. Because if you're going to call that place home, then it's good for you to check it out beforehand.
So obviously, top 10 countdown done. One is over. So now we'll take, I don't know if we have Amy, Miss Marin, or Miss Johnson, you may be able to tell us if there are questions, or is there a way for us to see questions, or I'll let you guys take the lead on that.
Yeah, so right now we don't have any questions, but like I said, there's a little bit of a delay. So we'll give them just a few seconds to kind of pick up and see if there's any questions. But we really do appreciate all of the great information specifically about WKU and kind of that general piece of why you should consider an honors college in the first place. So that's some just great information regarding next steps for our students and our upperclassmen, as well as our underclassmen that are kind of in this process and thinking about next year in college admissions. So we'll give everybody just a second. I don't know if any of the other counselors have any questions or anything they'd like to ask.
Well, as the questions come in, I'll just kind of echo for Caroline and Laura. We really appreciate you guys taking time out of your Tuesday evening to come hear this session, to kind of hear about honors colleges, to hear about WKU a little bit. We are obviously all available via email, social media. Go connect with us. We're on all the major networks, even TikTok. So come see what fun videos we're doing next. But we're here to help you guys and help you make your decisions, whether that's with us or with another institution.
All right, it doesn't look like we have any specific questions right now, but some may pop in later. Like I said, the Google form that we have created is active throughout this entire 2-week period. So as people go back and review these later, there may be a few questions that pop up, and we'll definitely make sure to reach out and get those answered. We really do appreciate your time and the information you provided us here tonight. You can go back and watch yourself on YouTube if you want to. A bonus place to say where you've been lately. And we really appreciate your time here with us at Manual and all the support you've given us over the years in all of your different roles that you've had. So thank you guys so much for joining us. And if you're on tonight, we will be back live at 7 o'clock for another session. So if you want to swing back by at 7, that would be great. We're going to close down this session, and then we'll see everybody else back live in just a minute.
Thank you.